Hey, Brad Weinman here, and today I want to talk about Bitcoin scams because as Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are reaching all-time highs, it's attracting more and more people who want to speculate in this market, which is a great thing for all of us who are bullish on cryptocurrencies right now. But unfortunately, it's also attracting a lot of scammers and crooks who are just coming out of the woodwork. And as a result, a lot of people out there are getting burned. Now, of course, a big part of what we do here is we weed out all the garbage and scammy stuff for you up front to help you avoid losing money. But we also realize that because a lot of high-yield Bitcoin investment scams are being shared through email and social media, I'm getting messages, you're probably getting messages, it makes it virtually impossible to not be exposed to them at some point. And the problem is most people don't know how to identify a scam. So I want to talk about the different types of scams going on within the cryptocurrency world and what to look for so you can avoid them like the plague and not get ripped off. Now, from my personal experience, and I've been in this industry for a long, long time, I've played with a lot of really speculative stuff. And I would say that at least 99% of the various high-yield investment programs that are being advertised out there are either scams, pyramid schemes, or Ponzi schemes, or some sort of illegitimate, illegal operation of some sort. And so if a cryptocurrency program is claiming to be profitable in a way that seems too good to be true, that's when you should be extremely cautious, especially with some of the closed system coins I've seen floating around out there. A quick example of this is OneCoin, which is a notorious Ponzi scheme based out of Bulgaria. And it's had a lot of traction lately, and it's still running even though it's been illegally banned in several countries around the world, including China, Germany, and India. And it's continuing to be banned every week that goes by. It seems like there's another country that has banned it and confiscated millions of dollars from people that are promoting it. Now, I want to show you a few simple steps that you can do anytime you want to validate whether a particular cryptocurrency investment program or coin is legit or not. You can start by going to any site that lists all the cryptocurrencies that are tradable across the different exchanges. I like to use a site called coinmarketcap.com, which is a very well-known site. I've been using it for years. And as you can see here, in addition to Bitcoin, there are well over 800 other cryptocurrencies that are listed, okay? So for instance, if I wanted to verify that OneCoin is the real deal, then I can just come up here in the search bar and type in OneCoin and do a search. And as you can see, nothing comes up. And that's because it's not real. Simple as that. Another one that is well-known, or a well-known scam I should say, is Scoin. And nothing comes up for that either. You know, there's a bunch of these out there. And they don't come up because all these coins are just scams. What they'll try and tell you is that they're on a private exchange, but the reality is they're not a registered coin, and so when it hits the open market, it's going to drop, and people are going to lose millions and millions of dollars, especially with OneCoin. I'm telling you this because these fake coins keep popping up all the time, and that's going to continue as long as enough people continue to promote them. What's crazy is that these private coin scams are much better at marketing themselves than Bitcoin because they can offer a promise of big returns guaranteed. And that promise is a lie, but it's a very attractive lie that lures in a lot of gullible people who, quite frankly, can't afford to lose any money. Now, the other types of crypto-related scams I want to make sure you're aware of are what's known as cloud mining and Bitcoin trading Ponzi schemes. And these scams are extremely popular because they typically offer a daily ROI of anywhere from about 1% to upwards of 6% per day, 7 days a week. I always like to use examples. So a new crypto scam that's floating around right now is called Gladiacoin, which is a Bitcoin HYIP. And it claims that it'll double your Bitcoin in 90 days through trading. But there's nothing here on this website that leads me to believe that there's any actual trading taking place. So whatever people are seeing in their back office is just numbers on the screen. Let me explain what's really going on here so you don't get suckered in. First of all, Gladiacoin's website, it doesn't have any disclaimers. They don't have any terms of service. There's no information about who's behind the program. In fact, when I looked at it, there's no legal documentation or links at the bottom of the page, which is required by the FTC. So just the fact that they don't have that is a huge red flag to me, and it should be to you too. Secondly, Gladiacoin is an MLM. So everyone who joins is able to refer others and earn a big fat commission. That's how these scams grow so quickly. So early investors come in and they start making their money back. Meanwhile, the promoters will keep the momentum going by referring new investors. And then at some point, as the momentum starts to slow down, the promoters and early investors will deploy their exit strategy and hopefully get out before everything collapses, which is inevitable. And the way you can actually check to see where a program is in its life cycle is to go to Google Trends, which I've already done here, and you'll usually see a long upward spike, and then let me just change this to 12 months. You'll usually see this long upward spike, and then it eventually drops off and it's gone. And what happens is once the person or people behind the program have made enough money for themselves, they'll just pull the plug without any warning. I've seen it happen so many times where desperate people have invested their last $3,000 to $4,000 and then poof, the websites disappear and it's all gone the next day. The truth is, all these Bitcoin HYIPs, they're just a ticking time bomb, because it's not a question of if it will happen, it's a question of when. And when it does happen, unfortunately, good people get hurt. So I can enter, for instance, OneCoin again, and we can compare that. Now, OneCoin has been actually around longer than 12 months, so I'm going to just do 5 years here. And so you can see it had this huge spike, kind of tapered off, and now it's actually on the downside. So as it's being shut down in more and more countries, you're going to see this taper off even more, and it's eventually going to die. Again, it just comes down to when it's going to happen, not a question of if. I'm actually surprised that it's lasted this long. Most HYIPs, they have a life cycle about 6 months or so. I've seen them go for as long as 2 years. So yeah, again, people are going to get burned. You could be saying to yourself, okay, well, if I just time this right and I get in early and I make my money back and I make a good profit, then what's the harm in that, right? But the problem is it perpetuates the idea for later investors that are coming in to think that everything's okay, that the coast is clear, things are rocking. And what happens is somebody eventually is going to get left holding the bag, and innocent people are going to get hurt. And so that's the real issue I have with these kinds of scams. You can play them on your own if you never refer anybody, but just know that eventually some people are going to get burned at the end. And that is the reality of what happens. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned something new, or it was at least a reminder to not waste your money on this type of garbage.